Welcome to another episode of Cocktails with Cousins. I'm Erica.
I'm KD.
I'm Raina.
And we are here to talk about Married at First Sight. We are in season 14, episode 4. See, that was good. I remembered. So we're going to be talking about everything that happened after the weddings and leading up to the first day of the honeymoon. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button because we know that you're going to like what you hear. Make sure that you're subscribed to our channel and then share our content with other people. We're going to jump right in because this show or this episode had a whole bunch of little fires here and there. We're going to start off with this first fire with Mark and Lindsay. What did you guys think about Mark and Lindsay this episode?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with, I guess, Mark meeting Lindsay's family and friends after the wedding. So the next morning. So I thought it was funny, cute, and kind of concerning that Lindsay's friends would give Mark a survival kit of how to deal with Lindsay. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it's cute, but there was like that no button, you know?
Yeah.
And even like her dad was saying, he's like, yeah, Lindsay, you got to kind of know how to reel her in and bring her back to reality sometimes. Like, you just, So, I mean, they gave him great tips and advice, but at the same time, the look on his face said it all. Like, he looked scared. Like, what did I sign up for?
He kind of looks scared all the time, though. I feel like he always has like that, that glossed over look or whatever. I don't know. I guess he's really shocked about what he got himself into.
Yeah, but I thought that was kind of funny and concerning. And then on the flip side, with Lindsay meeting Mark's family or friends, I should say, it was all his friends. They seem to vibe well, but they're like, they could tell that she's very high energy and all that. But they're like, no, her personality suits him. He needs somebody like that. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's good. And I mean, even the chemistry between the two of them, I feel like, I mean, honestly, to me, the thing that sticks out the most is like they were put together because they bond over trauma with the parents. So, I mean, I think that's why they were put together, to be honest with you. But man, I say Mark is a good guy because I don't think I could deal with Lindsay. She's just so much. Like, even going to the airport, they couldn't. I mean, they already had issues, and the day wasn't even over with. Between the airport, on the flight to, was it Puerto Rico? They went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
already.
Mark's friend's wife was so cute, and she was so excited for their union.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going back to her dad, he said that she also needs to watch her words. And that was the thing that he told Mark that he helped her with. And I was like, that's interesting. But as to their trauma, that's what I said. That I had that in my notes last time. I don't know that I said anything about it, but they are completely bonded by trauma. Both with their moms. She kind of gave a little bit more information about her relationship with her mom, but still not enough for me to be like kind of put the pieces together. But yeah, I don't know if their trauma bond will last, although they said they're in love, like they love each other, they're happy they're together. They're like, when they had breakfast that morning, they were talking about long term, so like they're already in it to the end. And they ain't even had none yet.
And he gave a little insight on his while his mom is in rehab.
Yeah,
and we thought it was drug related, but it's depression related.
Yeah. I thought that was very I was glad that he shared that, because I think that a lot of people could allude to maybe her having a drug issue when he said rehab, but it was interesting to hear like the depression side of it. So just definitely glad that he shared more.
Yeah.
His friend said that he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I thought that was kind of true of, kind of what we've seen so far, because he's like gung-ho into it, like with her, and anything that happens with her. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully their trauma bond will work for them.
I mean, like you said, clearly, like I feel like he's in it for the right reasons. Like I think he really, really wants, like because he signed up for the show this the second time, right? And he
Right.
got it right. So I feel like he's really willing to put in the work, whatever, to make it work. And so, I mean, I initially said that I didn't think that they would work. And honestly, I still kind of don't, because I just feel that Lindsay is too much. Like it's a lot. She has a lot to. I feel like she needs to learn to work on herself, because, and I say this because of the issues with from the airport with Katina and Olajuwon.
Yeah.
She was the issue was like, so apparently she can speak Spanish fluently, right?
Yeah.
And she had asked Olajuwon if he spoke Spanish. He was like, a little bit. And he was like, but I speak English. Like, I'm not fluent in Spanish. So when I know English, I'm going to be speaking English while I'm there. And then she made a comment about, well, we're in their country, even though it's Puerto Rico, it's part of the States, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
We're in their country. We should be respectful and speak their language. And he was just like, how are you going to tell me what language to speak? Like, you're not my mom, like, right? And so
Exactly.
I get it. Like, and she apparently thought that they were playing. She can't read the room though. So
She
that kind of,
can.
yeah.
Well, did you watch the after show?
I did.
Yeah.
I thought she was being a typical, obnoxious, drunk white girl.
I agree. And Mark, so Mark in the after show kind of gave a little bit more detail other than the Spanish thing. So apparently what he said was that she kind of had, these are Mark's words. She already jabbed at him like twice, and he recognized that Olajuwon had given her a pass twice, and then she did else on the plane. To the point of he was like, that everybody on the plane started to notice too. I don't want to get too in detail because I want to tell Olajuwon's side of the story when it's time for him or whatever. And so he said that he thought to himself, like, would she just stop? Like, she keeps saying things that are clearly like you said, she's not reading the room.
Yeah, she was trying to be funny.
Yeah, she was trying to be
funny.
And
it wasn't funny.
Exactly, or whatever. So that's kind of how Mark took it too, as her husband. And even though she said he is ride or die, and I think that he kind of showed that he's there for her, because he did stick up for her and try to play both sides of the field or whatever, and make sure that everything was smooth. But I'm gonna need her to learn how to read the room. Like,
yes, and I definitely applaud Mark, because mock the shot. Lord have mercy. When they were out on the beach drinking, having drinks or whatever, clearly she was butthurt, so she stayed her butt in the room, right?
She did.
I think she realized, like, okay, I was in the wrong, but she was too, what's the word? She was too proud to even come out and apologize for herself.
Yeah.
She stayed in the room. Mark showed up and he apologized on her behalf. He was like, listen, she was wrong. She said what she said, whatever. But I would like to move on from that. And I thought, like, Mark, he is very mature. He handled it in a mature way, in my opinion. I feel like he did.
And I think that he did the best that he could, being that they don't really know each other. He did make the statement, and I don't know if this was on the show or the after show, that if this is what he can expect, he doesn't know that he signed up or is matched with the right person. He made some.
That was on the after show.
Okay.
So I think he was trying to give us the segue into they not going to be together.
Oh, well, right.
Gotcha. Maybe because that's I mean, I'm with him. Like, if you can't tell that you're joking, and that's what she was saying, like, I thought we were joking or whatever. At some point when nobody's laughing but you're gonna have to realize that you're not joking anymore or whatever. Yeah. The internet ate her up, because on Twitter she was a Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I wish she would have womaned up and apologized for herself.
Yeah.
wish.
Well, maybe look, the episode, the honeymoon is young, so maybe she'll come out and apologize on the next episode of the show.
Yeah, because I mean, I get it. Like y'all are married now, but you barely know her, and you still stuck up for her, kind of. So
Yeah.
I can tell he's a good guy, but
Yeah,
I don't know if I can say the same for her.
yeah, he's in it for the right reasons. I think that's a part of why she may have not been married to this point, is that she doesn't understand how to read a room, and she has to work on kind of that. And then we already talked about her trauma and drama that she has going on at home, so that may be some points of improvement for her as well. Like she needs to kind of work on that type of stuff, but we'll see. Let's switch to the other side of this story, because what they say is three sides to every story.
Yeah.
The other side, and then the truth. But let's move on to Katina and Olajuwon. This episode, do we want to start with that story, or do we want to talk about them and then get into it?
We could. I'll just
Start with that story.
Okay, well that's okay. We'll continue. So Olajuwon, apparently he Lindsay was making digs at his outfit, like his slippers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
At the airport. And so, like you said, she was throwing in jabs here and there, and he's just like, why is she coming for me right now?
Right.
And so all of that kind of ended up exploding, because once they got to Puerto Rico, Olajuwon and Katina kind of went off of Lindsay, and so Lindsay and Mark did not ride the bus with them. They rode separately, and Katina was getting loud with her. She was like,
She was.
yeah. I was like, oh, Katina, you showing that side? Okay, this early? But it's funny because Olajuwon told Katina, he was like, I'm glad to see you stand up and, you know, this and that. And I was like, oh, wow. But I don't know, like they chemistry wise, I feel like they're good. I'm waiting for something to happen though. Like I can already feel something negative is gonna happen. Go ahead, Katie.
Right. So I feel the opposite about Katina amping up Olajuwon. I think that if she had stayed calm and he was getting calm, that whole situation could have been avoided.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you see Olajuwon not saying anything, but here goes Katina amping it up, because he just looked at her like, you a fool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle. I like that she was wanting to be there for her man, but I agree, because she ended up being more hyped than him. And I want to say at the end of the episode, he was like, yo, but we're not even gonna focus on that. Like, we're just gonna move forward or whatever. And I mean, everybody, like, she had kind of made a fool of herself anyway, because it was to the point that on the plane he said, and I know this was on the after show, that he said that the flight attendants had to come and tell her to pipe down and put her mask on. So she was acting a whole fool. Like,
she was drunk.
I'm talking about Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay.
She was
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm with you. She could have helped to diffuse the situation, although I don't think that he went off in a way that he could have gone off, because he could have, you know, I mean, they barely know each other, and here's somebody like taking jabs at me.
Yeah, she said she wanted to fight him.
Yeah, she said she wanted to fight him. Plus, she had already made a comment earlier in the show, because when Mark was like, oh, can I wear sweatpants on the plane? And she was like, sweatpants are only for the house. And then Olajuwon was like, I'm going to wear sweatpants. And he had on sweatpants and those slides. So I'm pretty sure that was part of her, that's a part of why she started jabbing at him. But still, like, y'all know each other.
But in Lindsay's defense, she thought they were playing around, like, ooh, you want to fight? You want to fight?
She did.
But she couldn't read the room.
Yeah. I mean, but yes, she can't read the room, but I wonder what she was saying for the flight attendants to have to try to calm her down and tell her to sit down and be quiet.
She was drunk. She was acting like she did on her wedding day. In the limo.
Probably, maybe.
Right.
She does. Okay, I think you told me this privately. She reminds us of Virginia.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly like
She
Virginia.
reminds us of Virginia, yes.
Well, look, let's talk about them in another sense. Like, how were they as a couple this time? What did you think about them as a couple and what they experienced with their, meeting their family?
Right. Right. Olajuwon meeting with Katina's family. I mean, friends.
Uh-huh.
What? So that was her guy friend, right? I mean,
Jelani.
like, Olajuwon was getting so defensive when his friend was asking, because what's the comment he made? He said something about, he's like, oh, I wanted to try something new and something different. He was like, well, trying something different isn't like, oh, let me go get married. It's more like, oh, let me date some other kind of person or this type of person. It's you don't go from being single bachelor life to, oh, I think I'm going to try something new. Let me go ahead and get married at first sight.
Right.
That's not what you do.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I heard a few times.
It's funny that the experts couldn't see straight through him, but her friends saw straight through him in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, no, they said he is only here to get his followers up.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
Do y'all think he really ain't trying to be married?
Well, I
Go ahead.
think that just like he said, he was trying something new. And if it works out, it works out. But if it doesn't, hey, he got his followers up. And
I mean, I think he's
true.
trying in the sense of like, yes, he's trying, but I don't think he understands what it takes to be in a marriage. I don't think he really comprehends that part. I think he just looking at it like, oh, this is an experiment. Let me try something new, right? Like, I'm up for the challenge, but not so much of this is what it's going to take to make this work. So
yeah, no, I would agree. He is being idealistic in the sense of, oh, I can just take my old self and I can tame it down a little bit and I'll be marriage material. It's gonna take a little bit more than that. So.
okay, I can't put my finger on it, but something with Katina doesn't sit right with me.
Look, do say more.
I don't know. Maybe she is holding back for the cameras. I don't know.
I found it interesting that her friends grilled him about getting his followers up, but they kind of are birds of the same feather. And
right. That's what I said in the beginning.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked if she's trying to do something similar.
Right.
Like, oh, I'll try. If it works, it works. But I mean, she's a self-admitted party girl. She told him, well, oh yeah, I used to have a cut buddy. So
why would she tell him that?
Oh no.
Like, she was acting like he's one of her girlfriends. Like,
right.
Say that. Come on.
Yeah. I would have been like, I have a past, that's I'm here for the marriage now. I don't know. I'm with you, Katie. It is something about her. And I do remember in the previews last week, there being like a blow up. And I don't know what the blow up was about. So we'll have to kind of wait. It was after they got back from the honeymoon. So it won't be anytime soon. There was a blow up with him. And it's easy to automatically say it may be him, but it might be her too. Like,
well,
no, you don't go from being a party girl just to, whatever.
Well,
right.
Well, based on one of the previews that I did see of them, it was on her because she was on her phone and apparently she was looking at something or someone texting somebody who she shouldn't have been texting because he was like, who is that? See, and you supposed to be married. You married. What are you doing still fooling with such and such? And I was like, ooh, uh-oh. Right.
So I don't know. But did y'all like Olajuwon's explanation of his dating life? He said, I mean, I ain't really a cheater because we never put a title on it.
TMI.
Well, okay, here's the thing though. If you're leading someone on, whether you have a title or not, it may not be cheating, but like, you're not a good person.
No.
You're trying to say I'm not a good person? Because I did that in my single days.
I guess you weren't a good person, Katie. At the time, you weren't. Like, you was playing them. No.
Well, I didn't have a title in anything.
You say I ain't had no titles. This is my thing. with him, it was like, I'm purposefully not gonna put a title on this. So that
Right.
I want to. I think
But I wasn't having sex with
gotcha.
anyone.
I mean, if you get a few dinners here and there, I feel like that's different. But he was out there having a good old time.
Oh, he
Yeah.
said it.
Words,
He
not
said
mine.
he didn't care whose feelings he was hurting. I was like, wow.
Exactly. I don't know. They're funny. I do like at the end, going back to the situation we were talking about at the beginning, I do like at the end that he was like, when Mark was like, do you want an apology from Lindsay? He was like, no, I'm good. Like he didn't want an apology or anything like that. So that did kind of show some of his character. And I think that he squashed it well. But I'm gonna tell you something on that after show. And if you don't watch the after show, you definitely should be watching the after show. Because that's when the real truth comes out.
Yeah.
He kind of showed like what he was really feeling during that time. He understands the purpose of the after show.
Right. And I kind of like Olajuwon on the after show.
Yeah.
He's
Because he
more
keeps it real.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
more serious and knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. No, I agree. Time will tell about his character going forward. Anything else? So we're ready to move on to Snoozeville.
Just one more thing.
Go
he
ahead.
was towards the end of their thing. He was telling Katina how he felt like she still had her guard up, like, and
It's only been 2 days.
Right, exactly. It's only been 2 days, but he was. I guess I like the fact that he was trying to let her know, like, hey, I'm your husband. I'm here for you. You don't have to feel it. But let me tell you though, after
I think he was trying to
done
smash.
dog this girl out and dog that girl out, like, you expect me to be vulnerable with you like that in 2 days? No.
Yeah. No, he was trying to go ahead.
He was just trying to smash.
He was.
He was on the honeymoon night too. He got down to his draws and he was ready. He was like, come on out. Like he knew it. But I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if they did do on their honeymoon night because they were hot and heavy in that bed before they went off. So I don't know. You know,
I mean, they claim they didn't, but
yeah,
they be lying. They be lying.
we have learned over the seasons that people lie.
Yes.
I would have faced at that. But yeah, we'll see. I do think he was just trying to get in her draws, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. All right, look, let's talk about Snoozeville and get off them so we can go ahead and talk about the interesting stuff. Let's move on to Steve and Noi. Like, here's the thing. Steve is consistent in the fact of saying that he ain't gonna work unless he want to.
Right.
He said it to her twice. He said it to her family. And he just keep on circling around the fact like, oh, I'm gonna work when I want to, and if I don't want to, that's what I'm not gonna do. I just couldn't believe it. What did you guys think of the interaction that they had when he met her family?
I was here for Sriracha.
She did not disappoint with her name, did she?
Oh, not at all. She
Or
is
actually-
like,
Except for their mama too.
Same with
Oh,
the mama.
right.
Sriracha asked him, well, what did you go, like, why did you travel? She said, was it like some Eat, Pray, Love? Like, what is the movie? Eat, Pray, Love, whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
Are you trying to find yourself? Like what it was? And he was like, no, I wasn't trying to find myself. I was trying to reconnect with myself. Okay, tomato. So you just said.
oh my gosh.
And it didn't help that his parents called him a nomad and said that he just wants to travel around.
Right.
Or whatever. I was like, oh, daddy. Like
That would be red flags coming up for me if I was Noi. I would be like, how are we gonna have some kids and raise a family if you want to be a nomad?
Right. And I hope it's not one of those situations where like he's telling her one thing, like, oh yeah, I want to have kids and I want to have a family and da 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 da. But then you hear these things from his family and his parents saying, oh, he wants to travel. He wants to go
Maybe
here.
he expects her to travel with him.
well, see, and that's what I think it is. I think that he expects for both of them to be on the bus going together wherever they're going to.
Well, if he's gonna he can afford to pay for it out without me working, I'll be okay traveling.
And so I'm assuming that he makes pretty good money doing freelance work, because one, he had to finance this trip down the East Coast. Let's start there. Two, I don't think that he's being super transparent about what his intentions are. Like you can read in between the lines, but I think that he was like on the trip and was like, oh, they're filming Married at First Sight in Boston. Let me go back and try that. And then I'm gonna get back on the road. Like, I don't know what he was thinking, but like him thinking that he was gonna come on this show and still continue not to work. Like, I don't know what made him think that was gonna be okay.
Like, here's the thing. There's actually nothing wrong with being a freelancer. Like,
No,
you can make, there are plenty of jobs that make great money being a freelancer. So here's my thing. If you can ease my mind, put my mind at ease, and let me know, like, okay, this is the type of work that I do. This is how much I make doing this. Okay, fine. And I don't expect him to tell us, the audience, anything, right? It's his personal business, but at least tell her and let her know, and put her mind at ease. So that's my thing. But I also feel like he's not understanding, like, the thought of not having a stable job and trying to have a family, that doesn't add up. It's not, it doesn't go together. So I need him to like understand that. I don't think he gets that yet. Like, he's not seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly. I will say that he was like, yeah, that's a conversation. We'll have to talk about it. But I think that he said that to her, but I still think that he was like 10 toes down about not working, because he said, what was it that he said? He said that when they had to figure out where they were trying to go, and where they would be. Like, you ain't asked her if she was gonna want to move somewhere. Like, so he said where they wanted to be before he decides if he wants to entertain getting a full-time job. Like, sir.
Right. And when he told him, he's like, yeah, that's something we need to talk about, I was like, that's what the cameras are here for. Talk.
Exactly.
Like, you're not saying this is the platform for you to, this is a time for you to talk about it, but you say that, but you're not saying anything. So exactly. I was like so confused. I'm like, dude, what are you trying to hide? I don't understand.
Well, Mama said if there are babies, there has got to be a job. That's what she said, KD?
Yep.
That's right.
She said no job, no babies. Noi is super cute though, because when she met with his parents, she was like, just super eager. She was happy about where they were at the moment. And she was super excited about what the future held. And then one statement that she made that I think this is true of anybody that goes on this show, is that they want the partner that they have to accept them for who they are. And so, I just thought that was cute. And that the other thing that they said was him accepting her culture. His parents were super excited about her and her cultural background, and he seemed to be excited too. So they do seem to be accepting her, but Steve, can't nobody accept the fact you ain't got no job. Like, that bothers me.
Right. And honestly, like, he did say that he wasn't in no rush to have kids. He said like 3 years, so he's really not in a rush. And also, I feel like
spring chicken though.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but on a chemistry level, I feel like, so far so good. Like, they look cute together. But I think personality wise, like, they're opposite. He's a thrill seeker. She's the opposite. She looks like she wants to chill, because when they were on the honeymoon, she had asked him, like, what do you want to do? And he said, parasailing, I think he said, was on the first things he wanted to do. She's like, like, she wasn't here for it. So and you can see it in him. Like, he's the type he seems fearless and like a risk taker. Like, he likes stuff like that. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like they may look good together, but chemistry, I feel like they're opposites, and maybe that's what it is. Opposites attract. I don't know.
I will say this though, playing a little devil's advocate, in the fact that she did move across the country to find love, and she did something else, like went with somebody. I can't remember what she did.
She took a trip to Mexico.
Okay, so maybe she, with the right persuasion, will try some of the things that he will try. I don't know. Maybe she's open.
We'll see.
All right, moving right along. Let's talk about Jasmina and Michael. Okay, Jasmina and Michael. Them together so far, they seem like okay. I thought it was interesting that they ended up having, and I'm jumping straight to the end, they ended up having a disagreement about disagreeing.
Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
it seems like to me, all these people on this season are going off stuff based off what somebody else told them about their partner instead of finding out for themselves.
Exactly. I definitely wrote that down because what happened was at breakfast, his sister said that he sees the worst in situations to, you know, lessen the blow if it doesn't go right. And she went straight to that when they started having this disagreement about disagreeing. And well, this is probably him just wanting to see the negative in everything. And I'm like, y'all both right. You should think positive and think that nobody's going to disagree. Be realistic and know that people gonna disagree.
Expect the worst, but hope for the best.
Exactly. Like y'all were both right. I mean, you ain't even have to walk off mad and get in the shower. Like, both right.
Like, I can see her no some nonsense attitude being the demise of them.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely seems a little, I don't want to say pig-headed, but kind of pig-headed. And I think she gets that from her stepmom, because her stepmom, she was asking, I feel like, the good questions also, but then like she was like, I'm afraid and I'm excited that you don't have a good example of marriage. But you know, you think that you know what you're doing, but I think you have an idealistic view or whatever. And she was talking about how she was just worried for her safety. But I feel like that attitude or that steadfastness, like, it's definitely going to get in her way. And I think it definitely mirrors kind of like her mom's or her stepmom's perspective on, you know, this whole process. I don't know. Speaking of breakfast, did anybody catch the fact that Jasmina said she had never been in a face-to-face relationship?
Yes, girl, I was about to say that. Like, you've been in a long distance relationship this whole time. No wonder you were getting cheated on. I mean,
exactly.
Like, you were the side chick. So what were you expecting? It was 9 years, right? That they were in a relationship?
I don't know how long it was.
That was a Katina.
Was it Katina? I don't know.
I think
that's
what's
look, the problem is the girl ain't never really dated nobody. Like, right. What in the world? A whole long distance relationship for however long it was? It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's not at all. To me, that was a red flag. My red flag sensors went off. I was like, yeah, no, that's no. But it's crazy to me because what did he say? Her mom was saying to Michael, she was like, yeah, all this to me is still like surface level. So, but it's funny because, like you said, Erica, they're basically saying the same thing. It's just funny because she looks at everything half glass full. He looks at it half empty. Yeah. But really it's the same level, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny because that's how I am and my husband is. I try to look at it with a positive outlook, with the positive. So I understood exactly what she was saying. But I've also learned that doesn't make you right. Like, he's right too, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what her stepdad was telling Michael. He was like, all right, don't let her bully you though. Like, she's not always right. And I'm like, yeah, I see it now. I totally see it. Like, yeah. Like you said, she stomped off and got mad. She's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. Like, it didn't have to be an argument.
No.
It really didn't have to be we can agree to disagree. That's just how I look at things. That's how you look at things. But
and even though she said that, even though she said that, she said it with a strong attitude. Like, she did in a positive way.
Yes, like I think ultimately she's gonna come off as like a know-it-all. Like, it's either her way or no way at all, and that's gonna be the downfall for real.
Yeah, and then couple that with the fact that he is a pessimist and he doesn't like to communicate as well as he could or should. With her being her know-it-all self and him not wanting to correct her, that'll end up being the problem. They're going to end up saying that they didn't communicate, they didn't see eye to eye or whatever. I look, I don't know at this point. I can't remember if I said they were gonna make it or not. I almost feel like I said nobody was gonna make it.
They
But
were the maybe for me. I said yes for them, hoping that they would. I thought he would be the problem, but I'm starting to see like her stubbornness. So
and I know that KD says that his sister, not KD, Jay said that the sisters were gonna be a problem, but I still think they're cool.
Yeah,
oh,
I don't
think
see
they love
that
her. Yeah.
because he wants her sisters want the best for him.
Right.
Yeah, and even in this episode, I think they were probably the only family and friends that didn't kind of sell their person out in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. I think his sisters are cool. We'll see what he has to say about these sisters on the next episode. All right. Anything else about Jasmina and Michael?
Mm-mm.
They were almost newsreel like Stephen and Noy. All right, well, let's move on. I think we're at the train wreck, right? We're talking about Alyssa and Chris at this point.
The shit show, yes.
Basically, like, what in the world? What did y'all think?
So I feel so bad for Chris. I mean, he was blindsided by her not wanting to sleep in the same room with him. And he was trying to figure out what he said, what he did to make her feel uncomfortable with him. And she kept saying, I just don't feel comfortable discussing anything. I just don't feel comfortable discussing anything. And what core values was she talking about? They don't agree. They don't have the same core values. They don't have anything in common when she didn't even talk to him after the wedding. And so
Got your hand up like you in school. Go ahead.
Maybe we're not seeing enough on them. I don't get it.
I know Elijah Wan said it best on the after party. He said, all that is BS. All that is BS. She just wasn't attracted to him. So she's giving him any kind of way, listening to his corny friends and she's just taking it and running with it to find a way out of it. And I'm like, dang, that 100%, that's it. That's the one. That's exactly what it is.
But she could do like Jamie Otis and give it a shot. Jamie Otis was not attracted to her husband in no way, shape, or form.
No, she cried.
Right.
Yes.
And but she did right though. She gave it a chance, like you said, Katie. Oh, Alyssa, my God. One, she's a coward because she don't even say anything. He has no idea what's going on. Right. That's just not fair to Chris. Like, at least talk to him. And then she claimed she's like, what? They talked off camera, right? And she said things, whatever. What did they say? What ultimately ended up happening? That, like what you just said, Katie?
Yeah,
they don't have the same core values or something like that. Yeah,
she said they didn't have the same core values. They weren't compatible, that it wasn't going to work. Then when he went and told her parents, like she said that her mom, he was talking to her mom the next day and he said, well, she doesn't think we're compatible and she doesn't think we're going to work and she'd rather be friends or whatever. And like her mom and her friends know that she's trashing this because they were making up all types of excuses for her. It was like, oh, that's classic Alyssa, give her some time. She's hard. She is, slow to warm up, da, 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 da. Like, I know they was thinking in her head, like, their heads like, oh God.
Then she got mad at him for discussing it with his with her family.
Exactly.
She said he disrespected her when she did that because they had that conversation in confidence. I was like, what? He's been respecting you this whole time. And did you
peep that? She said, let's just have fun with it. Meaning that she doesn't really want to do this, but let's just go on a honeymoon and have fun anyway for a free trip. And let's just, what is this?
If anybody is trying to get their followers up and get their TV time, it is Alyssa.
It is 100%
Alyssa. She's not even trying. Chris said it. He said it. I'm so glad he finally said it to her face when they were on the balcony. He was like, yeah, I don't think you're giving it a chance at all. Like, you've already checked out and you already wrote me off. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad he sees through her BS because like that's exactly what's happening. She literally was like, let me sign up for the show so I can get my TV time, get my followers up, whatever. And I'm going to do the bare minimum to at least stay on the show. Because if that's how she really felt, she'd have been like, nope, just let's get a divorce. Like, let's not even continue.
A bare minimum, honey. She gonna have to do a little bit better than that, because what she doing right now is not even trying.
And
the first thing she says is, I'm uncomfortable being around him. Girl, then what you come on Married at First Sight for? Like,
you know,
like
you were gonna have to sleep with him in the same room with him when you married him.
exactly. So I just want to try to get to know him. Well, honey, like he said, y'all ain't talked but 40 minutes. You didn't already counted y'all out, and y'all ain't talked. Y'all ain't even had a day's worth of conversation.
Like, she got
and
to script and say like, oh, if he's gonna call me a liar, then I don't want to have the conversation on camera.
Yeah, that's what she said. She wants to have all these conversations off camera, but she said a whole lot in front of camera that she is not going to be able to, she's going to have to try to live down, because, okay, so we already talked about the core values, saying that. Then she said, I feel gypped, you feel gypped, huh? Like, how you get to how we feeling already? We ain't been married but a day, how we gypped? We don't even know how it's going to be. She said there's been since the beginning, and I'm like, what problems? Like, what are you talking about? He said that she didn't put any effort, which I think is true. She thought that she had been betrayed because he told the truth. But the one thing that I do know what happened was Keisha gave her the whole truth on that after show.
And she got mad and walked off.
She sure did. Keisha said so, but what happened? Like, Keisha kept on. She kept trying to skirt around it or whatever. And she said, so basically, you made judgment on him over some hypothetical things. And then and I was like, go ahead, girl.
Yes.
And did y'all see this tweet? The apparently the officiant who married them tweeted, you can always fix your teeth, but you can't fix a bad personality.
I saw that. I didn't know where it came from, though.
Yes.
Wow, not even the officiant of the wedding. I didn't know that's where it came
when
from. Wow.
He said something along the basis of this. When I first met Alyssa, I knew that it wasn't going to work.
Wow.
Yeah.
That speaks
volumes. She's definitely like, well, me. Everything is about how I feel or how I don't feel comfortable. And Keisha told her, she was like, did you ever stop to think how you made him feel? How he was feeling in the moment when you wouldn't even discuss it? Because he doesn't even know what's going on.
Exactly.
So
isn't that when she got up and got mad and walked out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I love the fact that Chris said, this chick is trying to gaslight me.
Yep.
He knew it. He could
like,
see it.
That's it, Chris. She is definitely trying to gaslight you. And then she sat there with his family, and I feel like that conversation was, I didn't think that conversation
was so fake.
Level. It was so fake. Oh my God. Yeah, she's the worst. She's kind of like a Chris and a Johnny put together.
She is literally the most hated person on Married at First Sight.
Female, because there hasn't been any females that have been hated.
Except Mirla, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was after the fact. She is hated.
Right.
Yeah,
look, we are disliking her from day one.
Day one, I know. Oh my God. Oh man.
She's just a whole hot mess. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that is point out worthy. I do believe that her friends and family were dead wrong for her to come onto this show, because she is not like all the things that they say that she typically will do in a relationship. Oh yeah, she has a slow pace. Oh yeah, she's slow to start. Oh yeah, she does this all the time. Y'all should have set her down and had an intervention and said, look, honey, this show is not for you. Like, you cannot.
The expert should have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, her mom straight up lied to Chris at the wedding, talking about, yeah, she told me she liked you. No, she didn't.
Ma'am.
She did not say that.
Well, and then, but it's okay. It just adds to her list of reasons why she doesn't want to be married to him. Because when his, I don't know if that was his friend, I guess, his male friend that had breakfast with her or whatever, and they were talking about how he is dedicated to his work and real estate never sleeps, and that he'll be working hard. And she was like, "Oh, so he doesn't have a work-life balance? Like that's not gonna work." Like, whatever she said, and so basically he's gonna be married to his work. That's not gonna work. I'm like, girl, y'all ain't even been married. Y'all ain't even had no real time together at home doing.
Right. And he's been single this whole time, so of course he's married to his work. Like, what else is he doing?
I don't know.
Other than playing frisbee golf, I mean, no, like he's doing what he was supposed to.
Well, that was a problem too, because she said that hobbies aren't the same either.
She was so not interested in that frisbee golf. Lord.
Say that again.
I said she was so not interested in that frisbee golf. She's like, "What is that? I don't even know what that is."
I mean, look, if anything, go girl, get you a lawn chair, sip on a margarita and watch him play frisbee golf or whatever it is.
Right.
Like, it ain't that big of a deal. Like,
we don't go.
Or don't go. How about that? Say I'm gonna stay at home and clean the house that day. You go free golf it up. I don't know. But anywho, anything else about this girl and her messy ways? Because I feel like
I want to get into the previews.
Okay, go ahead. What did you notice that we need to be talking about?
Okay, so how is it that Katina could call out Lindsay for not acting her age when they only 4 years apart?
Look, I don't know. I have no idea.
But Katina acts immature also.
That's because that's that party girl in her.
I feel like that's only because she was provoked though, or she provoked Olajuwon. Now she felt like she got to jump in. But I mean, Lindsay was acting immature.
No, on the boat. On the boat. We have no idea what she was doing on the boat.
In that context.
Yeah. I did not see a lot of the previews. I did see more of Alyssa ignoring Chris. Like that was one thing we didn't talk about. Like when they were out with the other couples, like did you see how she like completely was like nowhere near him? Like they weren't even the same zip code.
Right. Like she made it a point not to be near him.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. What else is coming up on next episode that we should address?
Alyssa was crying and saying it's not gonna work, and Chris was looking out lost.
As he should be, because he don't even know what he did wrong. I don't know. They're gonna be interesting. That's all I can say.
Jasmina and Michael were arguing. It looked like they were on a balcony or outside somewhere eating at night. But yeah. It wasn't a good conversation, I can tell you that.
maybe
she is very argumentative.
Yeah, she does seem to be.
It seems like if you don't think her way or how she thinks, then she, like I said, she's very stubborn and like a know-it-all. It's like either her way or the highway. So
yeah, and that goes to show that she hasn't been in a lot of relationships.
Well, or a whole bunch of long distance ones. When you can be like, oh, or the refrigerator's running, I gotta go, whatever, and just stop having a conversation. I don't know. It should be interesting. Well, I think we pretty much summed up this episode and the previews for the next one. So we'll go ahead and end this episode. But before we go, make sure you've hit the like button because we hope that you like what you heard. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel so that you never miss an episode, and then share it with other people. Until next time, we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Boston season 14, and hopefully this honeymoon does not get more chaotic than it's already been. All right, until next time, bye.
Bye.